Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to Let's Talk 1943. I am your host, Regina Smithwick, and you are about to partake on another episode of Business Spotlight. And as you see, we have another beautiful guest, and this is Harmony Woodington, excuse me. And we are going to talk to her about a lot of things. So, like I say, always, you ready? Let's talk. All right, we are back. We are back. So, Harmony, thank you so much for joining us today. Let's do an introduction. We'll go ahead and get started. So, Harmony is a best-selling published author. Her passion is to flood the earth with love and teach people about proactive health in all aspects. So, Harmony, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Your intro is on point. That was amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate
welcome.
that. I'm so happy you're here today. So we're going to just jump in and get into this because we have a lot to talk about. So tell me, what made you become a healer? Like, what is your why?
Thank you so much for asking that. I have to say that I actually came from a dysfunctional family, like so many that end up doing what we do for a living. And looking for resolution myself, I actually had a difficult time finding resolution in the traditional model that we would know as psychology, psychiatry, because I was actually going through a bit of an existential crisis, as well as wanting to heal and find resolution when it came to the family that I was raised in as well. And I found the traditional model didn't honor the spiritual side of things. And I always knew myself to very much be a spiritual being. And so when I looked to the traditional model and they didn't honor that side of it, I actually ended up being forced to look outside of that traditional model. And I ended up discovering a hypnotherapist in going to a spiritual light gathering. And that was what turned me to the understanding that tapping into the power of your subconscious mind, where all of your programs lie, is actually one of the most powerful things that you can do. Create a relationship with your subconscious mind, because that is what creates your reality. So instead of just taking it on and learning it myself for my own resolution, because I'm incredibly passionate, I became it. So I became a clinical hypnotherapist. And quickly, I'm going to share a story with you. I was with a particular client as I was in practice doing my schooling for hypnotherapy. And there was a young woman that I took into hypnosis, and she actually had an experience going back to visit herself as a child at about the age of 7 years old. And when she was looking at that 7-year-old, she was actually already not loving that 7-year-old and saying some pretty harsh things towards that little girl looking at her. And I felt this powerful ball of energy in my solar plexus, or in the core stomach area of my body. I knew it wasn't mine, but it brought me to tears, and I didn't know how to help her get resolution. So that was what actually taught me that there was more to it than just creating a relationship with the mind. And that I needed to learn how to engage energetically, not so that I could do the work, so that I could hold space to teach my clients how to clear their own energy and do the energetic work. So that was why I ended up becoming a clinical hypnotherapist and involving the energy work, so that I teach my clients how to create a harmonious relationship with the mind and body.
Wow. That is deep. When you was actually helping someone else and you was able to get that feeling. So you can't control it. You can't control what happens when you helping others in that type of way. That must be something that takes you through. Like, they say like mediums, they do that, they thing, and they kind of feel the feelings of what they do.
Yeah.
So
it's very powerful. Yeah. So when you're first opening up energetically, when a lot of people become aware spiritually and energetically, this is what happens. Is there's no guide, because we're not taught at a really young age how to energetically engage or to be energetically aware. We get bombarded with energy. And we don't know how to create a relationship with it. But let's just correlate it for a second to dating. Okay.
Okay.
If we go out on a date with a person,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to find out what their name is, their age, what they do for a living, get to know their personality a little bit. And there's going to be a whole conversation and possibly multiple dates before there's any physical interaction, right?
Right.
So think about that in the energy world. A lot of people, what ends up happening is they actually go straight to the bedroom without a conversation. Do you see how that's kind of backwards?
Yeah, kind of.
I don't even know your first name.
Total backwards.
Yeah. So, and this is because we're not taught energetic intelligence from a young age. So what ends up happening for healers that don't get taught how to develop energetic intelligence is they take on other people's energy, not knowing better. And that's what happened to me when I had the client in hypnosis. And then as I developed energetic intelligence, I learned how to observe the client's energy over there without taking it on. So now when I support my clients doing the work, I create what I call a love arena. And I invite my client into my love arena and I hold space for them to do the work. So I observe the energy over there and I hold space for them to release it, whatever is not serving them, but I don't actually interact or take on the energy at all. So it actually isn't taxing me anymore.
Wow, that's perfect. That's a perfect analogy of that. Perfect.
Yeah, it really makes sense when you think about it from a dating perspective, because you just don't, you would never go about it the other way. You go on a date, you get to know a person first. It's the same thing in the energetic world.
Wow. You know what? I didn't think of it that way. That's a good analogy. You said that. It's like, it's so backwards, but when you have to kind of train yourself first to get that way, to get to that point, then you're able to help without being in the way, of the help. Because at that point you had to stop and go, what am I supposed to do? Because I'm feeling this stuff. So what you do, I notice certain things that you do it with, but I have a question that we could open up this conversation with. So what is the greater purpose of life? Like, because you said that life is a great purpose in life, and there's somewhere, not just going to work or
yes,
coming home taking care of the kids, just being married. Like, what is that greatest purpose that you can help people get to?
This is it's such a beautiful question, because I think being in this human existence and forgetting who we truly are, which is daughters and sons of God, and we're divine beings.
That's right.
We forget our divinity. We forget our divine right, and that there is a greater purpose. And we just immerse ourselves in this human existence, and we think that gaining status in this human existence is what is going to give us inner peace, is going to bring happiness. But how many people do you know that are successful and deeply miserable? You know what I mean? A lot. And the thing is, and I want to say that I think Madonna is probably the best example, because that woman got as famous as a human can get. And then she actually hit a moment where she said she was in deep misery and she felt that emptiness, and she went on a spiritual journey. And it wasn't until she did that she found her inner peace, because she discovered who she truly was, that she was a beautiful divine being, and that there were higher beings, and that there was a whole world that needed to be cultivated that had nothing to do with getting a house or a car or any of that kind of stuff, right?
Isn't it amazing how this world is? Isn't it amazing how we are trained to say happiness is big house, the car, the man, the kids, the dog. Like, that is happiness. And we try to attain that. And that's why we have so many issues, because it's not happiness. It's a plus. It's something that is great to have, but it's not your happiness.
Yeah, exactly. And I think truly coming to that realization for myself and discovering why I'm here on this planet on my own healing journey is what gave me not only a sense of inner peace, but a drive to do something that fills my soul every single day. Every time I serve a client and bring them to their own self-love and help them to create an unconditionally loving relationship with themselves and turn them into a lighthouse for love, it fills my soul, because what I discovered that I'm here to do on this earth is to flood this earth with love. That's my soul's purpose. And I just don't know if there's anything more fulfilling than that.
But that's called your purpose. That's your purpose. Your purpose is doing something, if you get paid for it or not. Your purpose is something that fulfills you and makes you feel that joy, that internal joy. That's what it means. Purpose.
Yeah.
A lot of us don't know.
It's right what you said. You don't necessarily have to monetize on it. However, being in alignment with it and understanding it and saying yes to it and serving that divine agenda that you created for yourself is going to be what's going to bring you that inner peace. I am fortunate enough that it is in alignment with what I do for a living. So I get to live my soul's purpose every day with the business that I created serving my clients, right? Which is incredibly beautiful. But I've seen people that are in my world that say, oh, you shouldn't charge for what you do. And I was like,
no.
Yeah, that's a limiting belief. And I'm not going to jive with that because I am putting value into the world and I absolutely deserve to receive value back. In fact, I use, just so you guys know, I use kinesiological testing to actually test the value of what I give, to actually decide how much I charge for my services. So it is testing the energy of the value that I give. You know what I mean? And I don't know how many people are actually deciding how to charge on that scale. They just go, oh, I'm going to charge the big dollars and make I'm going to make it rain, yo. You know what I mean?
But you're not really, what's the value? Kathy Lee Gifford said, she said this many times when she was on the air. She said her father told her, find out what you love to do and find a way to get paid to do it. And you'll never work a day in your life.
Never just play all day, right?
Yeah, that's what you do because you're doing your purpose, and then you find a way. Because we live in a place called Earth, and you have to make money to live here. Not
exactly.
But you're doing it in a honest, spiritual, honest, divine, godly way. You're not doing it in a way just to get over on people, like you said. Let me find a way to make a lot of money. Okay, is it divine? Is it supposed to help people, or are you just trying to make money? Because at the end of that road, as you see with a lot of people, they're not happy. They do get it. They get exactly what they asked for. But when they get there, it's not what it's cracked up to be. It's not what they thought it was going to be.
That's exactly it, right? Are you serving greed, or are you serving Mother Nature? Are you serving people? Are you serving animals? Are you serving others? Because if that's your agenda, then you will be blessed with abundance in doing so.
So when you get to this point in life and you teaching your clients about it, how about being like transparent and vulnerable? Do you teach them about that?
That's so beautiful because I find in the traditional model of allopathic medicine that the practitioner actually isn't transparent at all. And I very much believe in full transparency myself as a practitioner, because I believe that when I'm transparent about being on the journey and the struggles that I have, my clients learn from my struggles. Because I'm not perfect, and feigning perfection actually doesn't serve anyone, right? We are all on the path and we all have our struggles. And I feel that my clients have a lot more respect for me for being completely transparent. And I absolutely teach them to become fully transparent. The only reason that somebody wouldn't be fully transparent is because they're self-protecting in some way.
That's right.
Right? So if you understand who you are, if you know your divinity, and you have released all of the trapped emotion from past trauma, then what's there to hide anymore? Because there's nothing that anyone can do that can actually harm you if you know the divine being that you are. If somebody judges you as a result of being the beautiful divine being that you are, they're just undressing themselves, not you. And they're welcome to do so. You do not have to take that on. So I am all about unapologetically being who you are and letting go of the idea that you need to be anyone's performing monkey, because we don't, right?
Yeah, well, it's easy said and done for some people, because that's when let's go back to the core. When you don't know who you are, you're actually just like the wind blowing. You just go here and you go there. So you're going to be that person because you don't know who you are. So you're just going to float to wherever, where the wind blows.
Yeah.
So let's go back to what you were talking about, relationship. We were just using that analogy of relationship. What is a good relationship to you? Like, what is a good, healthy relationship?
You know what's really beautiful was it took me a little bit of time to figure that out, because my parents absolutely showed me what the example of a toxic, abusive relationship looks like. So I didn't have that as an example in my parents.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up actually creating it with the partner that I've been with, and we're just about to celebrate 9 years together.
Oh.
And I'm going to tell you that that man showed me what unconditional love is. He actually is the example of unconditional love. That boy is a toddler spirit, and he just loves everything unconditionally.
And I love this rock. I just love it.
Yeah, if you met him, you would instantly love him. All animals and all people instantly love
Oh,
that
animals
man.
love him too.
He hypnotizes chickens for fun. He's one of those people that just every creature has blind trust for him. And he has loved me through everything that I've been through. I'm sure I've challenged that man on my healing path. And he's held space for me, and I've pushed him, and he's just stayed steady. And it's just been so beautiful to have that example of unconditional love, and to know and feel what it's like to have a cheerleader that is looking at you and saying, I'm investing in you. I'm holding space for you, and I love you. So you do you. And I'm just going to be here. And I'm going to be your rock no matter what you throw at me. And I think that is really beautiful. Unconditional love. Learning how to tap into God's unconditional love, universal unconditional love, so that you can learn how to be unconditional love for your partner. The other thing is mutual respect. Now, my idea of mutual respect is actually different from other people's idea of mutual respect, because I actually believe that I need to love and respect myself first. And the reason I say that is because if I love myself as a divine being, I would never do anything to harm anyone, because it would actually create a negative vibration in me that I have to carry. And I don't want to carry that negative vibration of rejection, betrayal, hate, anger towards anyone. So I'm never going to harm others, so I don't have to do that to myself. And secondly, I respect and love all of Mother Earth's creatures, so I wouldn't harm them, which is a little bit of a different take on things. So those are two big, huge things that I think kind of are massive.
It's really not different, Harmony. It's really the way it's supposed to be. A lot of us don't do it. It's not different. We're not doing it the right way, because you're supposed to put your mask on before you help your child, right? In the airplane crash, right? You're supposed to help yourself first. How can you love someone and you don't know how to love your own? And that's why we have a lot of issues in relationships, because we are getting people, sucking them dry, because we're trying to get them to love us more than we love ourselves. So we like, validation issues, all that stuff. We like, keep telling me how great I am. Look, keep telling me you love me, you love me, you love me. And it's like, other person like, oh my gosh, like, come on. Like, because if you love yourself, it's nice to get it. You want to hear it, but you're not living on it. It's not like a gasoline thing. Like, I got to keep filling your tank up because you can't fill your own tank up. I got to keep on going to the gas station, and you don't know how to go there. That's why we have a lot of issues in relationships. And I was one of those people. I was one of those people that needed you to keep telling me, because I didn't love myself enough to say it to myself, that I needed you to do it for me. And so
that's so beautiful.
When you said that, that's the way it's supposed to be. But a lot of the world, we were conditioned to come out the gate and just fall in love. Go get a boyfriend, go get a girlfriend, go get this. And they don't teach you nothing, but just get it. And then nobody never said, hey, before you get that boyfriend or girlfriend, how do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about yourself? Who are you? Do you know who you are? Do you know what you want? Hey, do you love yourself? We didn't grow up with people that ask us that stuff.
No.
Like, hey, they told me the same thing. Go get a boyfriend. Go get a girlfriend. That's all they teach you. But they never teach you or equip you on how to condition and grow that, cultivate that relationship. They just tell you to get the relationship.
I totally agree with you.
What happens?
Yeah.
Oh, y'all getting a divorce? Oh, wow. Wow. You told me to get married. We talk about wow. You helped me with this part of it, but you sure helped me to get in it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I get what you're saying. This is amazing. I love this conversation, because that's like a part of the trust factor too, right? The trust.
Yeah, it's the framework that I actually teach in my book, Create a Healthy Romantic Relationship, is an acronym, and the acronym is actually Remember You. Because what do we do when we fall in love? We forget ourselves. Right?
We forget us all day, every day.
Exactly. We actually merge into something that we think is going to be the example of what that person might love. So we actually forget ourselves and take on that person's traits, hobbies, beliefs, And then when and what does everyone say when they get out of a relationship? I need to go find myself because they lost them. See, it's so literal, right? I need to go. Yeah, you do, because I don't know who you are after 10 years of that marriage.
Yeah, look, I don't know who you are
yourself, girl.
So I don't know who you are either.
You got lost. But you look the same, but it's not you.
That's the truth. You got to really check yourself in a relationship, because if you're one of those type of personalities that, kind of get attached and addictive and stuff, you got to keep checking yourself and say, hey, I love you, but I love me more. I love you, but I love me more. Like, you have to keep that going in your head, because it's easy to fall and slide, especially if you are a person like me who are in that kind of thing. And then you got to kind of say, wait a minute, then back up. Okay, wait a minute. I love you, but come on now. Like, you got to start putting your boundaries. You need to have those. Do you agree with the boundary thing inside of a love relationship?
Well, what's really interesting is talking about I love you, but I love me more. What's really interesting that I focus on is actually creating a life in service of myself, and my partner creates a life in service of himself, and I cheerlead him and he cheerleads me. So I'm focusing on me, he's focusing on him, and we're both going rah, 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 sis, boom, bah, you got this. Do you see what I mean? Gotcha. So we're each serving our own divine agenda and supporting each other. So we are both expanding together, because I'm not trying to do everything for him and rescue him, and he's not trying to do everything for me and rescue me. I'm doing me, he's doing him, right? The other thing that about boundaries are concerned is, if you have unconditional love for yourself, if you really own the divine being that you are, and you hold that standard for yourself, I am absolutely positive that when something is out of integrity, when someone is treating you like less than the goddess you are, you're going to feel it. Right. It's going to feel off. And what I generally tend to tell my clients to do is give a person the boot of love on that, right? Because if we learn how to respond with love, not react with hate and anger in situations where we're being disrespected or our boundaries are being crossed, it will be better received. Because when we respond out of hate and anger, we meet resistance because it's low vibrational behavior, right? However, if we take a beat and we resolve whatever it is that's coming up for us, because if we have emotion, it's on us. Nobody can make us feel anything. So you go talk to your healer or your support system, your coach, and you resolve that, and then go back and say, how can I respond to this from a place of love? And what can I do from a place of self-love? So what am I going to do? And if this relationship is toxic from a place of self-love, go get the door. If it is a relationship that's loving and someone just made a mistake, then you with love point out the boundary and you keep going, right? This is what I tell all of my clients. Okay. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. So now from what you just said, how do you know if it's a mistake and you just fix it and keep it keep going, or do you hit the door? Like, how do you know what it is?
Communication is everything. I fully believe in unfiltered communication. So if my partner does something that hurts my feelings and is a difficult thing for me, first and foremost, he can't make me feel anything. So if my feelings are hurt, that's on me. He's triggered something that I need to resolve. So I deal with my own emotion, and then I go back to him and say, hey, I'd like to talk to you about what it was that triggered emotion in me. And was that intentional? Was it unintentional? Let's have a chat. And he'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. And of course, we know at that point that it was completely unintentional. And he literally just tripped and fell on his face, as boys do. And you forgive him and you keep going, right? So it's just about full, transparent, open, unapologetic communication based in love.
I like that. You said, listen, it's obviously me, because I took it in and it happened to me. Something triggered me, and I want to talk to you about the trigger, because this is what triggered me. I'm not sure if you understood what happened. And then, like you said, the response is everything. Because if they go, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that, or they're like, look, whatever, like, they give you that kind of like, they don't care, or yeah, I meant to hit that because I knew was going to be it. I knew that was going to be, like, you could tell by people's response if they sincere or not. So that, I like that. I really like that. I'm going to definitely take that in, because you got to take it in and say, you can't let nobody do nothing to you unless you allow them in to do it. So that's your responsibility. That's you. You got to take that. You got to take that and say, hey, that triggered me. And you need to ask yourself, why is that triggering me? What is it that's making this trigger happen when he does this, this, and that? Because sometimes those triggers, well, I think we got to do the work and figure that out. Because some of it could be really minor things that's going to happen on a regular basis if you don't get it fixed. You know what I'm saying? Because some people triggers are very, very, like every other thing is triggering them. Like, I can't, well, you know what? I can't do this because I trigger you that's yawning. Like, I can't.
Yeah, they're a walking house of buttons.
You know, like
what
how far can you take triggers? Like how many, you know, you got to kind of balance out what you could deal with and what you can't deal with, right?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, if somebody, we are all going to have triggers because we all have trauma and emotions and different things that we've had to deal with in our lives. And what's really important to understand is that when we get into a relationship, our partners actually are perfect button pusher. That is what I call them, our perfect button pusher, because it's what they do all day long is push our buttons, right? Now, if we can understand that I'm calling them our perfect button pusher because what they're doing is actually surfacing trauma and emotions that we need to heal to expand.
That's right.
So if we understand they're helping us to heal, the only thing we need to do is go back and thank them for surfacing what we needed to expand and heal. Mm-hmm. So if we know that this relationship is for our expansion and healing, there's no need to come back with a pissy attitude and call them names, because this is what a relationship dynamic is, right? So if we own that and we go, oh, look at the button that you just pushed. Sweet, that's a pretty button. I'm going to play with that. And then I'm going to chuck it out the window because I'm actually have no use for it anymore. And then the next time someone behaves like that, the button's not there to get pushed. You have one less button, right? So you need to be doing the work. And this is what you need to look at with your partner. If you push a button and they go and they get mad at you and they call you names and they don't release the button and they stay being a house of buttons, not doing the work, it's difficult to stay in a relationship with somebody like that because you're walking on eggshells all the time and it's not fair, right?
Yeah.
It's not fair. So when you push a button and they go and they talk to their coach, their healer, their whatever, their counselor, and they release the button and come back and then talk to you about it. If you push a button again, but it's a different button, you can go, okay, I'm good with this because it's a new button. It's not the old button, which means I know you're expanding. So I'm cool if it's a new button. I just don't want to push the same one 100 times over is what I'm saying. That's where it gets annoying, right?
We're not that one button, right? So that's when you know a person is intentionally doing it because they keep doing the same thing over and over again. So that's my answer right there. So ladies and gentlemen, we learned something today. So we all we're not perfect. We're not perfect, but what we do is we try to make sure we help each other. And those trigger points is sometimes other people don't know them, especially they're starting to get to know you. So it's your job to recognize the trigger, bring it to their attention, let them know what triggered you, and then hopefully they learn from that to not do it again. And you need to learn to not let that trigger happen again by working and doing the work on the trigger, right?
Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly.
I got it.
Got this. You can't be like, this button over here, don't ever touch it. It's a hot spot. Like, seriously? Be responsible and do the work and get rid of it.
There you go. That's the responsibility. So instead of you crying about it, it's like, okay, get the cry out. Now let's do the work and figure out what's going on here. Because that button's not, like you said, you could be another guy with a different name and he's going to do the same thing.
Oh, darn right.
You got to get it fixed. Got to get it fixed. Oh, I love this conversation. This was wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So before we leave out today, you have anything you want to let my audience know?
To all of you who are looking to create a healthy romantic relationship, I do have a book called Create a Healthy Romantic Relationship that does teach you a powerful, never taught before framework for a healthy romantic relationship that will allow you to not only take control of your romantic life in the real world, but I'm talking about online dating and stuff like that too. People think they don't have control in the online dating space. I approach this in the book. And unlike a lot of other dating books, I talk about the bedroom as well. Okay. So I am unfiltered in every aspect. So it is very fulfilling. And if you enjoy listening to me, you will enjoy reading because I wrote that book just like I speak. So it is very, very readable. And you can go to Amazon and pick it up. You just go into Amazon and look up Create a Healthy Romantic Relationship and it's right there for you.
Oh, right. Perfect, Harmony. And as you see on the bottom of the screen, I've been scrolling. So you have her website as well as her email address. So everything she just said is on her website and all her information. And if you want to book a session with her, her information, her calendar is on her website as well. And as you hear, Harmony is amazing. I love your energy and I love your personality. I love it. It's like, let's get
Thank
straight
you.
to the point here. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. We're going to get it. We're going to go ahead and deal with it and we're going to get over it. So I love that way of doing work. That's how I am as a life coach. I do the same thing. So, but
Amazing.
I love it. All right. So until next time, this has been Let's Talk 1943, and I'm your host Regina Smithwick. And I love y'all, and I hope you just join us again next time for another Business Spotlight edition. And I'll harm this. Hold on one second, okay? All
Yep.
right, we'll be back. Thank you so much. I love you. Have a good day.